Welcome to World of Rock Hounds. I'm Kyle, and today we're going to be talking about Obsidian. Obsidian is a natural glass that's made from the earth, and a lot of the Obsidian gets a black color for a lot of black varieties. It gets its color from nano inclusions of magnetite, which is an iron oxide. Obsidian's hardness is anywhere between 5 to 6, depending on the variety. Obsidian is comprised roughly of 70% of non-crystallized silica. And get this, Obsidian technically isn't considered a true rock because it isn't comprised of mineral crystals. If you're up for a read, I'll post some links to some informational sites about Obsidian in the description below. So feel free to check those out if you're wanting to read up more about it. But for now, let's get into it. Alright, to get started, we're going to start with a piece of green obsidian from Burns, Oregon. And I'm going to be using water for all these pieces so you can kind of get an idea of what they could look like if they were polished up. So, got that. So I'm not sure what causes the color exactly. I just think the color is pretty cool. And the next piece here is a piece of rainbow obsidian. You see a little bit of the purple flash there. There's some green down here. If you wet it with water, see it better. If you have a flashlight, you really make those colors pop. Next, got another piece of rainbow right here as well. Nice green piece. Next, we've got a piece of snowflake obsidian. I'm not exactly sure where this piece came from. But it's definitely interesting. This next piece did come from Oregon. I believe it's called red ribbon lace obsidian. Next piece here that we have is a variety of silver sheen obsidian. We got a small cut piece here. Also a variety of silver sheen obsidian. We got a small nugget here of just plain old Jane Blaine black. Nothing special, no color, no stripes, nothing, just plain black obsidian. And we got a big bad boy right here. There's a big piece of what we like to call gold sheen. Get it wet. There's a lot of different layers in there. Gold sheen can actually be very beautiful once it's been ground down, sanded, and polished. With the right light, you can see some really cool variations in layers. like right here, that is what looks like a very small layer of nanocrystallized magnetite, also known as fire obsidian. Now the thing with something like this, it's not necessarily worth it to grind down the piece and try to extract that out to make into jewelry, mainly because you don't know how far or deep that layer goes. For all you know, it could be stopping right there, and then all that time that you would put into it to extract that layer out wouldn't even be worth it. It almost would be worth it to leave it alone and just make this a shelf piece, or cut this up, try to get this one big piece out, and then just try to polish the face right there, and that way you can say that you have a piece of fire obsidian. It's just only a small minute layer. Let's say that you want to cut your obsidian to a degree to bring out the color. There is a way to do that, and that way you can kind of utilize as much of the stone as possible, for every cut. So here we have a piece of obsidian, I believe this is from Davis Creek, California. And you can see all the different layers here in the back. Those are all different layers of color. And for the most part, they're pretty straight. And this is the cut side right here. This is the uncut side. But you can see that they cut it at a degree where it try to utilize as much of the layers as possible. You'll see it from this side too. Now, fair warning, this other side is not finished. Oh, it was finished at one point, but I just threw it in the back pile, just because I wasn't very happy with the outcome of the polish itself. And that was the outcome of that cut, because they cut it at a degree where it utilizes a lot of the different layers. Now I'm sure if this is a bigger piece, that this would make some beautiful slabs. You can probably get a lot of really nice cabs or stuff for jewelry. And if I were to do the same thing with this piece here, this is that one nice big purple piece of rainbow obsidian, I can get a lot of nice cabs out of it. Just cut out at an angle, utilize a lot of those layers. Of course, I think up in here was the green and down here was the purple, so I'd probably start transitioning from green to purple here, right in the center. And last but not least, we're going to talk about a very specific variety of obsidian that's found only in Oregon at the time being, and it's called fire obsidian. The color in the fire obsidian can actually range anywhere from very vivid springtime colors to very vivid autumn colors, and I've even seen them go as far as not having any color at all. It just looks like a sheet of silver. I've even had a few pieces that I've worked on where half of the layer itself was color, and then all of a sudden that color just stopped right there, and then the rest of the layer was just nothing. The magnetite layer itself is actually super thin. How thin, you might ask? So we got this one piece here. That is one layer. You can see my finger right there. But wait. That's how thin the layer is. Super thin. It's so thin that if you want to take this and make this into a piece of jewelry and have a silver backing, you need to actually take this and color the backside of it with a permanent marker several times. Otherwise, the light is going to go through that layer, hit the silver backing, and come back through, and you're not going to have such a very vivid pendant. Now to go over the ways that you can actually look for the different fire layers in the obsidian. One way is just with a spray bottle and a flashlight, and with the right degree of angle, you can kind of get a hint of color. For example, let's do this piece. This piece I've been kind of put on my back burner because I really don't want to mess it up. You can see that I have a little pencil line right here. That's the layer that I want to get to. And it goes all the way around. I believe that's the line right there. It drops down. And that's the thing with these layers. They're not very uniform, unlike its rainbow obsidian counterpart. These layers are they're very random. So this piece, you might be able to see a little flash right there of what I want to get into. See if I can get the flashlight to pick it up here. See some of that color? You got some purple, you got green, yellow. That's a very flashy layer, and I think it actually goes all the way through, but the other thing is too, those are the layers that I'm working with. They're not very uniform. Can't do what they want. But there is another way to try to find the colors. So this is the method that I use. It's just a dark bucket filled with water and a flashlight. So I'll show you an example here. I got some bigger pieces that I'll get to in here in a second. But this is the same piece we just got done looking at. So even without a flashlight, you should be able to see some color right there. With the flashlight, excuse the water. So there's those colors there. You can also see colors over here on this side here. So it's not just one layer of nanocrystallized magnetite. It's multiple layers. But I mainly want this top layer here. Let's look at the other side. There's some color play up here, right here, right there. No, a whole lot. So I have to grind down all the excess obsidian out of the way in order to get to that layer. And that requires taking a lot of time and not rushing it, because the moment that you go past that layer, that color's gone forever. But yeah, look at that color right there. That's what it will look like once it's been polished up. And then try and get those other colors out too. So here we got another piece. This piece I was trying to figure out if it had fire in it or not. And so here at home I have machines that can actually just grind down the surface and then put it in a bucket of water and see if I can see any colors. So you can see that right there, my pinky's at. A little flash. And that's quite a ways down there. Almost halfway through that rock. It'll take a lot of cutting to get to that piece. You can see that the flash continues there on the other side. Looks like there might be more than one layer too. See if it just is light here. There it is. See here, let's look at the other side. So this side is pretty rough. It's a small flash, but nothing too bright or vivid. So it takes a lot of just looking for the fire layers. This one should be pretty easy to spot. Again, they range from colors. Use the water can settle down just enough to get that. There it is. Here's bigger pieces to try to hold on to. Yeah, it takes some angling to try to get the color to show. Yeah. Try to extract that color out. I think there might have been some other colors down here too. Nothing too bright. But try to end this on a good note with a different piece here. So that's without a flashlight. Come on. Get the flashlight in here. So flashlight really helps actually show some of the color. Pretty bright. I don't know whether there would be anything on the other side. Not really. And there's another piece that actually came from that corner. We're gonna make that into a pendant. Just kind of put it on the back burner. Yeah, like this piece here, I wasn't sure if it really had anything in there just because of all the different layers, but that's why I when I go to estate sales or rock shows, I look for obsidian that has the layers, and then if it's a good price and they don't know what it is, I'll take it home and I'll do the bucket test and see if it's going to be anything worth working on. So the top layers not so much, but the bottom layers have some really nice colors to them. So let's see here, bottom layers, so it's like right in here, and I think a lot of the rest of it is just like a silver sheen, gold sheen. So that's on the project, and this same trick also works for rainbow obsidian as well. And I put the other chunks in here so you can kind of see. So here we got, what is this? Was it the purple one? I think it was. Yep. Submerging the rainbow obsidian in the water just kind of helps give you an idea of the different colors that is in the piece. All right, let's wrap things up today. So we talked about some of the varieties of obsidian that could be found, and then we also talked about a way to cut rainbow obsidian to utilize all the different layers and the colors. And then we also kind of covered of how I look for the fire obsidian in some of the chunks. So as far as cutting obsidian, I'm going to do a different video entirely at a future date of how to cut, grind, sand, and polish obsidian in order to bring out the colors in the rainbow obsidian, and I will also do a separate video on fire obsidian as well. All right, before we go today, I just do want to say a couple important things, and that is to do your due diligence, to do research, to figure out what the rules and regulations are of any given area that you plan on collecting from, and figure out how much that you are allowed to take out without getting in trouble. Doing research will protect yourself, protect the land, and also protect the hobby for future generations of rockhounds to come. In all honesty, it takes only one person to ruin it for everybody else. Don't be that person. Don't be greedy. I know that there's some areas where you're only allowed so many pounds per person per day or per year, and there are a lot of rules around it. It's also important to note that there are claims out in the world for various different types of material, and it's up to you to make sure that you protect yourself by not going on these claims and collecting anything from them, because that can get you in some serious trouble, and you don't want that. It's not worth it to go pick up a small rock or to dig a hole on someone's claim and end up in serious financial hardship because you broke the law or even jail time. So protect yourself, avoid claims, make sure you watch out for claim markers, and because they are usually always marked, and some claim owners do have issues with people knocking down claim marker posts and removing the jar that has all the claim information. So again, do your research to make sure that you are not impeding on someone else's claimed area or property. Protect yourself, protect the land, and protect this hobby for future generations. All right, and that concludes today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content, and I got more videos in the works, and I will see you guys soon. Rock on.